Now, what happened in Ferguson has come to New York. This Eric Garner decision has upset me so much that in 3 days I have gained over 100 pounds. The world agrees. The grand jury's decision was excuse me, dubious.
Oh, yeah. All right. Saturday Night Live dealing with the grand jury decision on Staten Island. Welcome to Give Me Five. And that's Kenan Thompson doing Al Sharpton. And, you know, part of this is funny, but it's certainly not a laughing matter or a laughing issue. And we'll get to the seriousness of Al Sharpton in just a second. But here's some more from Saturday Night Live.
Now, all over the country, there are protests. And for the first time in my life, everyone agrees with me. Folks are high-fiving with me, inviting me places. This must be what it feels like to be Beyonce. What the hell is going on? Last night I was sitting in front of my TV and I found myself saying, "You damn right, Bill O'Reilly. I'm all messed up." Either way is clear. The grand juries in both New York and St. Louis have a lot to answer for.
Yeah, all right. Dubois for dubious and Slosis for St. Louis. That's pretty much par for the course for the real Al Sharpton. And we got one more here before we get to the real Al Sharpton.
Thanks for having me. Now, when a grand jury...
I mean, this is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, what does a man have to do to be put on trial?
I know, but the issue
How
is...
are you going to get the whole thing on video, then turn around and say that there's no crime here?
I have no idea, and I think
this is not a whodunit. This is a he did it.
You're right. You're more than right.
Well, thank you, Lawrence Tatum, for clearing this up for us.
All right. And folks, you know, I have to chuckle. In the previous Give Me Five, in a soundbite that we've been playing throughout the show today, you see the widow of Eric Gardner saying it wasn't racial and saying that, you know, the cops knew her husband. He knew that they knew he was selling these cigarettes. I mean, and Al Sharpton's sitting there next to the woman saying it's not racial. Well, if it's not racial, Al Sharpton's out of business. But here's the real Al Sharpton, and this is what we should not lose sight of. We cannot lose sight of. Al Sharpton cannot be allowed to dictate the narrative, notwithstanding the fact that he sits next to the president at the White House. Because the president and him apparently have a lot in common. Because you don't let someone sit next to you at the White House if you're president of the United States if you have a problem with the things you're going to hear Al Sharpton say. Now, this is only part of what Al Sharpton said in the past about the black mayor of New York at the time, David Dinkins. He called him the N-word over and over, and then said this.
Because you know if a black man stood up next to you, they would see you for the whore that you really are.
We're the best chicken fries in the universe. But we don't go buy some Colonel Sanders chicken. Then the Chinaman come in and throw some hot grease in the tub and dip it down, and you stand in line and buy that. Koreans sell us watermelon. We eat watermelon all our lives. But they gonna come cut it up, put it in a bucket with a rubber band around it. And we gonna buy it like it's something we didn't know what it was.
All right, so he calls the mayor not only the N-word, but he calls him a whore, black mayor, New York, mocking fried chicken and blacks, and mocking KFC for selling it to blacks, and mocking Koreans for selling watermelon cut up to blacks. And here's the worst.
White folks was in the cave when we had built empires. We learned to admire them, but they knew to admire us. We built pyramids before Donald Trump ever knew what architecture was. We taught philosophy and astrology and mathematics before Socrates and them Greek homos ever got around.
Yeah, so if the president lets Al Sharpton sit next to him, a man who's called Greeks homos and mocked Koreans and Jews and white interlopers and perpetuated one of the greatest racial hoax of all time, Tawana Brawley, either the president agrees with Al Sharpton on all that or he's totally ignorant. What do you think on the Steve Malzberg Show?